The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly Noyantis Usergroup meeting. Today is the 18th of May, 2020. Myself and John are your hosts. As always, anyone's got any, we'll start with updates and so on, but if anyone's got any questions or queries and so on, please feel free to type in the question box. We have got a couple of questions already in, which we'll be covering today. We'll be covering some work on the calendar. So that'll be in a couple of questions. So yeah, okay, updates. The report control, as we've been saying, has had some work. There's a correction to, if anyone can remember, there was a correction to the browse enhancer, and that has had a lot of work. Basically, the whole, I would say, a good chunk of the actual enhancing part of it has been completely rewritten, and it performs much better now. There's still, it came about because there was a problem with legacy, but the fixes I've done are for both legacy and ABC. So if anyone does use the browse enhancer, I would definitely recommend using the report control. Sorry, you're getting the new version. Sorry, I was just reading something at the same time. Then, getting this new version. Now it's not out. It is out in beta. A couple of users are using it. I want to just add a couple of other features to it before it actually goes out as a formal release. But if anybody in the meantime does need an update report control, then let me know, and I can always put a zip file together for you and get it across to you that way. Okie dokie. So, a couple of quick questions. Antonio, although it says he's left, unfortunately, but Antonio's question was, are there any documents that would help me with methods of the report control? And yes, there should be, especially for the methods. In the installer, hopefully in the documents. Just going to have a look now. Report control. Because prior to the pandemic and so on, and the lockdown in various different countries, just prior to that, we were working on these. So you've got there's a PDF or a CHM. They're installed with the installer, and yeah, basically is the report control. Actually, no, that would do the PDF. It's going to be easier to see, but you've got the CHM and the PDF. But yes, basically you will get type definitions, the properties, and then the methods. And to make it easy navigation, especially for the CHM, we've done them in bands A to F. I think it's G to L. So basically like four sections, if you will. But this gives you all of the different methods and the prototype. So we're just doing the bit where we actually want to give you a description and so on and so forth, and like a workable example. So these are still in progress, but yeah, that's the report control. And someone's just said 519 pages. Yes, that's right. A lot of methods, so a lot of things to include in there. But these are all of the latest installers include the new these new documents. So you should have these if you're on the latest installers. Okay, that was an easy one. Don't know if we come back. No, but yeah. So basically, that was for Antonio. Roberto, what would be a proper way to deal with a memo field in the property grid and report control? Property grid. In the property grid, you can have take it, we're really just talking about a text entry, if you will. So the property grid does provide that functionality. Just let me run the example. I think we've got one from a previous webinar, so we'll just run that. So the different types, and one of the strings you do have basically is a multi-line string, and you can, I think it's control enter, yeah, because then enter would actually accept the control, a bit like me typing in here 1 2 3 and enter. It's a bit like tabbing off it. So control enter allows you to do new line, and obviously you can drop it down and type to your heart's content. So I would use a multi-line string for a memo in the property grid. It's a tough one. If it's a lot, as in quite a large memo, a lot of information, then I don't know. I mean, you can control how much you can preview. I think by default I'll set it to something like 4, so I can see 4 lines. So, for example, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, you could have and so on and so forth. We get the idea. But you still got going to have limits in there. So if it's a large memo, I'm not sure if the property grid would be your best option to do that personally. But it is capable of it. I'm just thinking of usability for the end user. But that would be your best option there from a property grid, from a memo, or from a text, if you will. Text control, and then from a report control. Actually, no, I'll come off that one, of the example. And I'm sure, again, we've done it in the last. In the report control, you would turn off the fixed row height property, and that would give you basically, just trying to see where it is. I can view tree in line. Basically, what you can do is do word wrap, and so you would get word wrap, and the contents of the memo would go into there, recognised as a carriage term line feed, as you would expect, so on and so forth. So yes, so you could put them in there. Alternatively, if you didn't want variable line height, what you could do is basically turn on the preview. So for example, there's like a report control. You could have maybe a few first so many characters of your memo to give the person like a taste, and then you can actually have what you call a preview value, a preview row for each one of the rows, and if it's got it, then it will preview that. So you could do it that way. So that's a couple of options open to you. Antonio's just come back. I saw the user guide to the report control, but didn't hear how I get one. Antonio, that user guide a minute ago, not just for the report control, every product has got one of those now. They're in the latest installers, so download the latest installer. Even if you've got the same version, what you've got saved, download the latest installer, install it obviously, and it'll go into your accessories, documents, Noyantis folder, and it'll be available in there. But it has a shortcut for you as well. Okie dokie. So we've got report control. Does the auto size take into consideration the header size? I'm going to open Roberto's mic. Hi, Roberto.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Yes.
I kind of I created all the I started playing with the report control just recently, and I actually created all the headers first, and before I could even get any data, and then I noticed when the auto size it shrunk all everything down to the size of what I believe the data, because there was nothing in there. So basically all the fields got squashed. Okay. So I was wondering, yeah. So what I did was I turned off the auto size, and I was getting the sizes that I set the controls to, and that was working fine. But the auto size is, so I was just curious about the question of, okay, does the auto size take in consideration the fact that I got 2 bytes showing for the data, and I got 5 bytes for what the header is like.
Now I'm trying to remember myself. So what we're talking about here, for people aren't aware, you can turn on basically the auto size, and I think it's on by default, where it will display these to a particular size, and it tries to get as many columns in as possible. Now the auto size, I think it does it percentage wise. So if you said that I want that to be 100 pixels and I want this to be 100 pixels and this only 40 pixels and so on. Basically, when it does the auto size, it will try and, this is as far as I know, it will try and display them to that kind of percentage. It won't give the size column there the same size as the from, because in our design we've said we want that column to be narrower. And so on. So I think it takes the percentages into account, but of course if you've got lots and lots of columns, then it can end up shrinking them down. Like there, we've gone to a minimum. So you have got 2 settings for each column. You've got a size, width and minimum width. So you can see that
Gotcha.
I've got to a minimum width. I would always set the minimum width. I think on this one actually I've turned the sizing off. So I said I just want that to be 20, which gives you a 16 by 16 pixel and probably a pixel or two either side.
I have, in my little example, I had the a size and a minimum size. I got, like I said, I got the columns on, and then the auto size just shrunk them all to almost unreadable. So I left the auto size off, and everything just spaced out correctly. And the vertical, the horizontal scroll bars. The scroll bar showed up fine, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm just curious. So I was just curious. It's not
okay, I'll open schedule it, which actually I'm gonna have to just change that, because I've come back to the office. We've obviously been locked down, but I've actually come back to the office from today. So just 1 second. Let me switch this to a different data source. And I'll show you what we've done in our application, so just so you can get a feel for it, so to speak.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Yeah, that's okay. Try that again. Okay, so we had let's say a list of patients, and that's quite a busy. Not to upgrade the data. How about this? Won't be a second. And we have that over there, and right. So yeah, we turn the auto size on certain columns, and on certain report controls, I should say, and then on some we don't. So like this list of patients, this could be quite busy, and the user gets to bring in, let's just put that there a second so we can actually get to it. They can bring in loads of extra columns and so on. Ooh. Okay, so we've got, as you can see, there's loads, and the horizontal bar, it's just what we consider a regular browser. So that's where we wouldn't have auto size turned on. Okay, that kind of approach. But in a simple, let's say, a setup screen, so titles, Mr., Miss, so on and so forth, we do have the auto size turned on, because otherwise it would look something like, well, that would only be coming to about there, and you just end up with grey space here and so on. So we do have the auto size turned on by default for that one, only because we just want it to visually look full. That's all. So that's our type of approach for the auto size. Small ones where you're not going, I don't even think there's any extra columns. Yeah, there isn't. So for small things like that, we would have it turned on. But for busier type lists, then we would have it turned off.
Thank you, sir.
Okie dokie. Oh, loads of questions, and we've got to go to the calendar shortly. But I'm going to just mop up on. Oh, there was one thing actually. I said we're going to start with updates, and I didn't actually show it. What you've now got in the, obviously I said the legacy and the report control. Sorry, the legacy and ABC report control has had its the enhancers fully rebuilt, and they work great. There's still one extra thing I can do to help on them, but these are available if you want them in beta. But you've got some other new features added to it at the same time. One of which is, I'll just go to a standard report control, but I've just put a couple of reset fields. So it's just standard reset, which would have like a Clarion list, Clarion browse, and that is actually resetting the report control. So yeah, we've just added that new tab for ABC and legacy, of course, and it regardless of what the data source is. So it works on browse enhancers, but it also works on manually loaded report controls, file loaded, all report controls basically. So yeah, you can now you've got a new tab of reset fields, and you can just add them as a field, and you can optionally, if you wanted to, give them an actual ID. So say for example here, I've called that, I don't know, we'll just call it test, that kind of thing. And we can have that reset field, but then maybe when a particular condition in your application has been met, then but that value would continue to change, you can actually delete the reset field. So you've got new methods: add reset field, delete reset field, clear reset fields, so on and so forth. So you can give it an actual ID, but of course you don't have to. You can just give it a field, and it works the same as you would expect. That's in the report control, but also the calendar is getting that same entity. In fact, all the products will eventually have them where they are. Take some kind of content. So the property grid will have that. Report control's got it. The calendar as all but got it. Command bars, charts, everything. So basically, reset fields will be going onto all of the products. Okay. Make sure I've got these questions. Got that. Roberta, auto size, yes. Okay. Well, so just catching up on the other questions. So Mark's got a question on distribution. There's other questions as well, but I'm going to try and cover those in our actual content. We'll get on the calendar in a second. So for distributing my app, as I add more controls, how do I know for each control what to include in my package/distribution? Okay, so just 1 second. Okay. Making notes. So when we upload the video, all videos are on our YouTube channel. I know there was questions in the past of we can't get to them via Clarion Live and so on and so forth. They're all on the YouTube channel. So all recordings of these are in there, and we are trying to get some notes on them, so you'll be able to see what the actual content is. So very quick one then, because we've covered this in the past, but basically distributing your app, you would want to, so let's say here, report control, you would want to ship the OCX file. So let's just have a quick look here. I'm going to actually, well, here's an example. Okay, our schedule it application. So it's a multi-DLL. So we've got our app, the EXE I should say, and the DLLs of the app. We use Veg Free Com. So we have which I do if you're using Clarion 9.1 onwards, I would recommend using Veg Free Com. It just takes away all the, well, not headaches, but any kind of issue of the controls being registered or not registered. So the app, they will work, and you can even run the ActiveX control as a guest user on a PC. So it eliminates any kind of user access rights issues. So you would want to ship your EXE and your DLLs, the OCX files that you use. So for example, this uses the schedule, it uses the calendar, the command bars, controls, docking pane, report control, and task panel. So you would do those. Then, and the theme files. So say, for example, Visual Studio 2012, if you're using that, or Visual Studio 2015, if you're using that. I think we only actually use some of the Office ones. So it depends on what theme you are using, and they are on your global extension. So that Explorer happens to be a built-in one. But if you were using, say, one of the Office 2013, then you would want to distribute the Office 2013 DLL. And then, after you've compiled your application, if you're using Veg Free Com, you would have your application manifest. I'm just going to open that up. I'm going to do it on new notepad here. Okay, so, and what happens when you compile your application and you've said Veg Free Com on the global extension, you will get extra dependencies. So the template writes these into your application manifest for you. And so you can see here, it's got a dependency of Extreme Task Panel and the version number, and Calendar Pro and the version number, and so on. And for each one of these, you will actually have an additional manifest file. So we can see here that we've got the calendar, the command bar, and the docking pane. And it's those, bring that in, that's a typical manifest file for the OCX controls. Looks complicated. Really, we're not really bothered about that. Windows needs it in order to be able to initialize the ActiveX using Veg Free Com, which has been around since Windows XP. So it's a very old, tried and tested facility. So to answer your question, you would ship your EXE and DLLs. You would ship your OCX files of the ones that you are using. So if you're only using calendar and command bar, you'd only ship calendar and command bar. You ship your application manifest. So mine's schedule it, so it's schedule it exe manifest. And you would ship the extreme manifest files that go for the controls. So if you're using calendar and command bar, those two will be generated for you. So the settings for that are in here. Oh, for Veg Free Com, in fact, just good practice always, but it's a must for Veg Free Com. Always use one of the predefined versions, because by doing that, I, from the templates, can then detect what version you're using and write the correct manifest contents. If you use a specify version, the Veg Free Com won't work, because you can type anything you like in there and the template won't be able to successfully determine which one you're using. So good practice is to always use one of the predefines. The specify is if you happen to, say, get a newer version of CodeJock and you've not renewed your templates, which is fine. We don't force you. Then you would use the specify to specify a newer version of the CodeJock control, that kind of thing. Or if you're using a beta, which they sometimes ship, then you would use the specify, but you wouldn't be able to use the Veg Free Com with that. So you would specify the version, specify your theme file, which of course if you're using one of the external files, then you would want to ship that. On the register, choose Veg Free Com, and then remember to compile your license in. And there's and you put your validation code in, which probably looks something like, yep. The third line of your license file in the CodeJock bin folder will, so you'll have a license file for each one of the controls, and the third line will look something like that. Validate code with 4 sets of 3 characters. You want to copy I think it's just say in here, yeah, you want to copy that line in its entirety there. The first two, we will also have the first 2 lines. These are calculated for you because we know what version you specified. So if I was to change that to an older one, 18.6, you'll see that it's just recalculated these 2 for you. So always use a predefined. It knows how to calculate what. If you did use a specify, they then become enterable, so you can override them. One little tip, which we do get questions quite often, is people say, it's working on my development machine, but when I send it to the customer, it doesn't work. The controls don't start, and it's usually because they haven't compiled their licensing. So that's 99% of the time it's that, and that's basically because if you don't compile your licensing, then what happens is the ActiveX control, where it's registered, will look for the license file in the same location. So when you're on your development machine, you run the CodeJock installer. It's put them into program files, x86, CodeJock, so on and so forth, bin. So it's put the ActiveX in there, and it's put the license in there, and so on. And of course, you use it on your machine, as you can see here. On this particular application, we're using it, no license is compiled, but it's working, and so on. But then you distribute the app, and it won't work because it's got no license. So that's just a little reminder. Okay. William's asking, how does Veg Free interact with UAC? We could never get it going, as you explained. Oh, you should be fine. UAC, we won't have definitely shouldn't have an effect on Veg Free Com. Basically, if you remember, JP used to have an application for browsing tables on various different. It's his DMC application, and it was basically a file converter, a browser, and so on and so forth. Really good, really powerful, actually. He used the Veg Free Com because originally we Clarion didn't support it. Bob added it in 9.1. So when he switched to using the Veg Free Com, you literally could have his application on a pen drive, plug it into a machine, be logged in as a guest, and still run the application from the pen drive, and so on. That's how he used to actually distribute his app. So you should be fine with UAC. Definitely, you shouldn't cause any issues. Presuming the user's allowed to run a program, of course, but that's not down to that's down to the actual the security policies of wherever it is. But yeah, Veg Free Com will not fail because of it. If they haven't got access to the pen drive or run a program and so on and so forth, then that's a whole different question. But it's nothing really to do with us. That really would be down to the admins there. Okay. Now we've got a couple of things, bigger questions to tackle. So let's get going on them. So Roberto Renz, this one. Are you there, Roberto?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here. And Fernando should be unmuted.
Yeah, I was going to say it. And Fernando. Hi, Fernando.
Oh.
Hola, buenos días. Hello.
Hello, Fernando. You were going to practice your English today because I decided 2 seconds ago that I wasn't going to talk any Spanish. I don't think he's laughing.
So, we want to have a look.
I'm here to translate for him because he's not very well versed in.
Yes, and thank you very much. It is appreciated. So we've got an issue on the loading of the calendar. So do we want to share his screen so we can take a look? Is that okay?
Yep. Vamos a compartir tu pantalla, Fernando.
Bueno, ante todo, déjame saludar a todos y agradecerle por, permitirme resolver esta problemática que estoy teniendo, que la verdad que me viene con esta situación un cliente que hace bastante que no se lo he podido resolver y bueno, por eso acudí acá a Roberto.
He says thank you very much.
Siempre ha colaborado en lo que le he consultado, como lo dije en el chat. Y bueno, ver a ver si podemos solucionar esto, porque me tiene bastante complicado.
Oh, he said thank you very much again. No.
Oh, okay.
No, he says he has a client that he needs to be. He's had to give him, and it's been real complicated for him to try to do this. So it's real nice for you to help him.
No problem.
Okay.
So
bueno,
let's look at the template settings to start with. Let's start with that.
Podemos ver cómo configuraste los templates.
Sí, si quieren, digo, ¿no? Mostrar primero lo que...
Okay, he wants to show you how his app is working.
Okay.
¿Cómo funciona la aplicación? ¿Eso quieres mostrar, Fernando? Ver. Fernando. Well,
have we lost him?
I don't know, I guess. He's talking, I think. Oh. Okay, he'll be back. He says his PC turned off.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, in the meantime, then we're going to go to another calendar question. So I'm going to bring the presenting back to myself.
All right, I'll mute myself till he gets back.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so this is a good one if you use a calendar. So we'll create a bit of a demo app here, and this is for I think it was William, but I think calendar's a pretty good popular product anyway. So now, Frank was asking about the admin rights again to do with workstations if they don't have admin rights. No, the Veg Free Com will get you around that. You won't need admin rights. As I say, you could even be a guest user and still run the controls. The controls are not installed on the machine, they're not registered, so on and so forth. You just ship your application with the files we've said, and the Veg Free Com will work. Okay. Just going to mute Fernando to move. Okay. So the question was related to the calendar. Let's open up one of the calendar apps. And again, we've got some which we've done in previous webinars, so we might as well stay with them. Calendar. And we'll run this. And what we'll want to do is tie this to a report control for basically to try and give a timeline view. The calendar does support a timeline view. Personally, I don't like it. Oh, hang on a second. Mismatch virtual. That's a change I was doing earlier. Won't be a second. Sorry about this, everybody. Won't be a sec. Now, why am I getting that? That makes no sense. Nope, I won't sell it. Ah, okay, got it. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Let's stage it when that happens. Right, let's try that again. So this will hopefully compile. Just waiting for it. This is an old example. Should have just got the new example, it'd be easier. There you go. Okay. So we've got a calendar, and it supports this timeline mode, which of course all these can be turned on and turned off as you require. And that's its implementation. But some people might like it. I don't want to really pass comment. Me personally, I don't like it. And especially if you want to maybe for scheduling, that kind of thing. I'm going to open William's mic up actually. William, your microphone's open. And you can have multiple schedules. So here we've got, like, we can see staff 1, staff 2, staff 3. And I think there's an example where we actually have them from a table. That's great. But if you used to look at that in a timeline mode, you don't really see which staff. You've just got content and so on. So it doesn't really lend itself to that. Now, to go with that, I think a better idea behind it would be take the report control application, and one of the functions it supports is this track control. So imagine, if you will, your calendar. Go back to our calendar. Here's your schedules. So this would be Andrea Smith, and this would be Andy Wilton, Billy G, so on. And then these would be the content from the actual calendar. And you can do this. In fact, we'll see about putting an example together now. Let's take that. Oh, sorry, one. Yep. We'll add a report control. And we'll choose doesn't really matter. Choose asking. There you go. We'll probably use that the schedule one. Not that. Staff. There, that one. We do actually, I don't know if you remember, actually, one thing I forgot to mention, to help out on that, you do have an overview function. I don't know if anyone's aware of that, where basically it's this is nothing to do with CodeJock. We started this functionality for you. Because what you can find is you've got a busy practice. We used to do dental software and practice management, but you've got a busy calendar, and you want it, say, in 15-minute slots here. Some people like them in 5-minute intervals. So you don't really get to see the whole day. Here we're looking at half a day, but we need to be able to see at a glance what the overall time is. So the overview will take the settings from the calendar. It will take the earliest time of the day, which is viewable, and we've said our working day in our template starts at 9, so it'll take that and it finishes at 5:30, so it'll round up to the next hour and it'll go to 6. And basically what you can do is click within here and it will navigate the calendar. So that's an option you have got. You can't move these, so that's where we would like the idea, use the track control. But if you don't want to use a report control, or you haven't got the report control, don't forget you can actually just add that to the screen, and it works with the schedules as well. So if you've got multiple schedules, as we've got here, then it will basically take the data out of them and paint this area. You draw it on the screen. So basically, it will take the data from the calendar and populate itself accordingly. So if we wanted to on here, we could just add. So we will actually quickly, we'll do that here. Let's get rid of them. You can tell this is the really old example. So let's get rid of them. And we'll just add the overview so you can just see it in action. So go to your calendar, go to the overview, add it to your screen, draw the particular size, and it's just really a region. And that's what we do then. We paint all the things on it accordingly. So we're going to link it to the calendar. We only want the selected day. It could be that you want all the selected days, but we're going to have one day only. So as we navigate the calendar, the content will change. But that's it. To get your the overview on there, that's how you would do it. Oh, I'm doing displays and stuff, right? Okay, so it won't be a second. Really should have brought in the latest example. This is really old. This. Right. Next time I will bring in the latest example rather than just reuse an old one. So we just did it, add to table, and you can see we drew that region and it's done. It's taken those accordingly. And of course you can navigate around. So that's not bad if you just want a quick view. We don't want that. We want to basically put a track control on there and get the two working together. So what I'm going to do is just going to remove that back off, make our calendar a little smaller just to give us a bit more room. Maybe put that over there, something like so, just to give us more room. And I'm going to add a report control. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create an example. Not this, it'll be more polished, but I'm going to actually create a shippable example app, which I think will go as part of our install. There you go, something like so. Okay, that's our report control. Calendar track. We're going to manually load it. I'm just going to change the class name and then columns. I want basically have a column called staff. Which we will be taking from the information at the top, so maybe 100 for the width, and then I forget where the setting is now. In here, there's a setting where we turn on the track bar. Options? No, I genuinely can't remember where we do it. Tell you what, I'll look in the actual template. Should be appearance and view. So appearance, row view, track view. There we go. Oh, new schedules. Okay, so we've got report control here. We've got staff member column. 100 is probably a little wide, and we've got the track area. So let's just take a look at our track. And what we would actually do is want to change that scale. I'm just going to fix it for now, but you can do all these via properties and so on and so forth. So on our track, yep, that's fine. To get the clash strategy for now. Increment time, I'm going to say it's in 15 minutes. I think that does. Actually remember that. Timeline, let's have a look at that. Yeah, keep that for now. I don't give it any scale, that's why. Yeah, no scale. So, myself calculator. Yeah, that's fine. Increment time. Minimum time wants to be, what is it? What we could do is just do reformat. T1 is that a T4? Can't remember. Something like that. To there. No, auto calculate. Let's just check if that's give us some kind of time. Do you know that's going to put me somewhere? Oh. Do you know what? I'm going to come to that in a second. Let's get some data. I want to actually show you. I will ship a full example. What I'm just going to do is just set a numeric scale on it. Okay, so what are we saying there? 8 hours. Yeah, scale. So I'm just going to say, okay, minimum value is something like so. Right. What the first thing we want is to be able to get the staff members what's currently on show. So these schedules. Okay. So because we have it, so these can be turned on and turned off. We could go to here. What I want to do is I want to read them from the calendar. So we're going to on the calendar class. You've got methods. So just 1 second. I'll get that for you. In fact, what I should really do is open up the help, and we use the help which we mentioned earlier. Let's open up the calendar one. Okay, so within the calendar there are some, I think it's to do with get schedule or something. Get schedule short name. I think it's also a get total schedule as well. So it will be a second, just looking for it actually here. Yeah, get schedule count. It's actually in front of us all the time. And basically, that's just going to get us how many schedules we've got. Move that out of the way. And I'm going to put a code on a button so we can see how it's built, and we can just do it ourselves that way. So start here. Build RC report control, something like that. Okay. Clients having a moment. Strange. So I'm going to loop 1 to calendar pro dot get schedule count. That's going to get each one of the schedules. Okay, for each one of those, we want to get the schedule name. So we've got, against your schedules, you've got schedule name. You've also got a short name. We'll go with a full name. So get schedule name. You pass it the ID of the particular schedule, and it will bring it back for us. So you also got to get schedule ID, which we're going to need. So I'm going to, on our report control, I'm going to add a row, and basically its ID is going to be our schedule. So we want it to be our calendar pro get schedule ID for the one we're currently on, and then we want the going to need that again in a second. What's the parameters of this? Add it. Yeah, no, false. We'll do the report control loaded via a group, although for how long this will take, it's does demonstrate the best way to get data into the report control. So on here, we want to say, okay, on the row, define a group. So we now got a group defined. If we take a look, I think we called our column staff earlier. You'll see here's our group. Report control has just been created for us, and it takes a record ID and the staff. As our build, I'm actually going to prime that up. So it's going to be record ID wants to be so, and the staff wants to be. Now we will need that. Now what we can do is say the calendar pro get schedule name, and we want to get it for that. That's our row ID. We don't want to refresh after each adding each row. Just going to do one at the end, and that's the actual group that we want to pass in. So that takes 3 parameters: the row ID, which we use in the schedule ID. Whether to refresh, we don't want it to, and then a defaults group, which we've just primed up here. And in that group, we've said the record ID is the schedule ID that we're currently looping through. The name, the staff name, is the schedule name. So what we should really also do, a bit of housekeeping, is report control dot delete all rows. Yeah, okay. Put a false on that. We don't want that to refresh, and then we'll just do our row at the end. Dot populate. Okay, let's take a quick look at that. So if we add that, we now have our content and so on. Okay, so that's good so far. Now, what we want to do is to get the data out of the calendar and place them in here as blocks. Everyone with us so far, or have I just lost everybody? Just checking the questions 1 second. Right, no, all good so far. Fine. So we need to get the events out of the calendar. Now, of course, we could go and read these from our TPS table, or our SQL table. We could read them from the data, like that, like the calendar is getting it from. But it wouldn't work because one of the things is supported is recurring events. So, for example, here we've got an event here which recurs every other day, and that is only one record in our TPS table. Sorry, in our data table. That's only one record, and then a recurring pattern is applied as per the parameters in the calendar. So we need to read the data out of the calendar itself, not from our data tables. So what we're going to do there then is we're going to make use. Just let me bring the actual class in here. There's a function called find events. Very powerful and really underrated. So it's a really good method to use. So yeah, so let's jump to it. There is find events. Pass it a start date and an end date, and then a queue. Basically, where you want all the answers to go in, and then we can filter. We can say, okay, only for a certain schedule ID, or only for a start time and end time, and so on and so forth. So you can filter really down to the smallest amount that you need. We're not going to filter. We're just going to define a queue and bring back the events for the current day. Let's give ourselves a queue. Local variable calendar events. Oh. It's a queue. And oops, we're going to base it on there. So that is our queue. Now that structure, I'll just bring that back in for you. And again, that would be in the help. I should really put time and effort into doing the help, and I don't actually use them. But you have got your type definitions, and in there will be not the calendar event group, but there will be the find event. There you go. There's a find events group, and basically it will populate all the different characteristics of that each event that it finds, and so on. But we're definitely going to be wanting to make use of its start time and its end time, and so on and so forth. Okay, back to our example. Get rid of that. Just noticed it was open. So we've got our calendar events. That's not local variable. I'll call that local queue. So that we've deleted and built our rows. Next, let's find events. So it's calendar pro dot find events. Brightly off. Can't remember whether that actually gives you a total or not. But we want the current day that calendar's on. Get selected start date. on the Calendar Pro, get selected, end date, and the queue. We're just going to quickly message out there the records that we've got in our queue, just to check it's working. Okay, don't build, and we've got free events, which I concur, there's a free event. So actually, let's put one in there for that. So A1, I really the old example. Yeah, I mean, kind of ignore that. We're using a really old example here. That's not what we're here for that. Yeah, 4 events. So now we're going to add the blocks. We know what within our group that we found. In our find events, one of the things it brings back is the schedule that it belongs to, and we've got the start time and end time, and so on, and we've even got the color. So now it should be up there. Yep. So now we are going to add blocks onto our track bar. So when we did what we should have done here is do the report control, delete all blocks, and that takes a So we want to loop equals 1 to records in that queue. Going to get our entry. And I'm going to do our report control. So I've got the thing to hand here. Let me open up the report control. There you go. And we've got an add block. It's good to bring that in. So it takes parameter of what row do you want it on, an ID for the block, and the position and its length. Let me move that over there. So we're going to go, okay, report control, add block. The row is our schedule ID, so it's our LQ events schedule. Then it wants the block ID. That can just be well, actually no. Actually, what we can do is use our LQ calendar event and the event ID itself. So the actual ID within the calendar is unique. That can be the block. So then the two tie together nicely. And it wants the position and the length and the color. Okay, so we need to sort out the scale, but what I was going to do there is just 15 minutes blocks, if you will. So I'm going to say it's the start time. Put that, we want it into minutes, if you will. And let me just get it right. That's my, yeah, won't be a second, everyone. So divide that by something like this. So that will put it into minutes. But we're only starting at 9. I was just thinking aloud here. Correct. 1 second. 1 minute. 1 hour. Actually, we've got some equates thinking about it, but we have got. Should really use these more. We've got actual equates for these. So what I can do is just say, okay, divide by NYS time underscore hour. Okay, so no, sorry, not hour, minute. That will give us the time back in minutes, and then we'll just do by 15. The length wants to be our duration, so basically it's the calendar events end time minus the start time, and divide by that's minutes. Just thinking about our scale. Sorry about this, everyone. I'm just thinking the best example. Well, we'll come to that in a second. And the colour. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of our scale, the best scale we should use for the calendar. I'm going to take that off. Okay. Go to our settings of here. Track. How many minutes do we have in a day? 1 second. Okay, so the viewport, don't need any time markers. Let's just try that to start with. Why are we not seeing any scale? What am I doing wrong here? Sorry, wrong one. Yeah, well, we'll change that in a second, but they are your 15 minutes, every 15 minutes. We'll change the scale in a second, but let's have a look. Do we not get our blocks anywhere? Oh yeah, of course we do. We have to scroll across. So that would be our blocks. I'm intrigued. What we're going to do is change the scale. So I'm going to override that time scale. Go to our track. And you've got the increment. And I'm going to use custom labels. And there's a particular embed point, which you have to do. So onto the report control. And it is paint time label takes these parameters, so we're going to change them in here. Okay. So position, label, color, length. Grab that, put that over there for me a second. So what I want to do is give, and then the current position that it's going through, I'm going to divide that by modulo 15. I'm going to say the param label wants to equal format at the time, I suppose. Format of the param position times by NYS minute. I can't remember which time picture is just short time pictures. TO1, that'll be fine. That wants to be that. The param, not really bothered about the color. Then we color black. Equals 1. Oh. So what we're doing there is every 15 minutes we will actually allow the label to say something. Other than that, the label is going to be blank. So let's take a look at that, but we're also going to change that default viewport. I think it was that's our scale, but our viewport wants to be, we'll start at we'll start at say 480 or 4 hours, something like that. Oh no, 720, sorry. Okay, still a bit cramped. Oh, I forgot about the minute, but we get the idea. So we've got our times of the day and so on. And we've got to make sure that those are correct. So that says it's at 9:30, which would be correct. Somebody tells me that's been pushed too far across. Yeah, that's at 10. We need to add one on. I forgot about that, but that would be 10, and that would be the time of that's wrong. Not quite sure why we're getting that. Where's the orange one? Somebody tells me it's that was at 11:30, so that's correct. Must be those two are clashing of why. Let's just help ourselves here. Let's rebuild it. Yeah, it's getting that correct. Okay, so basically what you've just seen there is we're getting the data out of the report control. Out of the calendar. We're adding it to the report control. Any questions on that? What we've just seen? Oh.
We're using the calendar control at the moment, but if we don't use recurring appointments, we could directly query the data, correct?
Of course, yeah. I just, to get the fullness of this. I mean, to be honest though, you could get it from your data, correct? But if you've got your calendar there and populated, then it's actually faster to get it from the calendar, because otherwise you're having disk I/O.
Okay.
So it's actually faster to get it from the calendar and so on. So now we've got that. The only thing you would want to do there then is, let's say somebody picked that up and moved it, and so on. Then we would want this to go and move accordingly. So what we would do there, I was just going to change that time. Our position. Quickly check that first. It was just bugging me out. It was all 59 instead of 10, that kind of thing, instead of the hour. Yeah, that's better. Fine. So we're going to look for a block being moved. So let's go to our block accepted, block moved. Okay, that's going to get what row and what block, and basically the new position and its length. So now update calendar. So we're going to say we want to do the calendar. There's a couple of ways we can do this. I'm going to show you the better way, the new way. What we should do. Go back into here. We've got these. You've got in the calendar a method to prime up a group. So we have a look at this help on the prototypes. You've got this calendar group, the event, how events get populated. But what you can do is take the data out of the calendar and prime that straight to that group. So you've got all of the properties for you available straight away. So I'm going to do that. I'm trying to remember the name of the actual the name of the method. There's so many products and so on, you kind of do forget which ones. So it won't be a second. Yeah. Okay, so you've got one called Calendar Pro Prime Event Group from Calendar. And we want to know which event, which of course we use the calendar event ID. This isn't your record ID, this is the event ID within the calendar. We use that as our block. And of course that's one of the parameters that this gets. So we should have block ID, which is actually our event ID. So we've got the prime event group from calendar. We pass it the ID. So now our group should be populated. I'm going to change the start time. Sorry, I was thinking aloud there. Calendar dot event. Event group start time wants to equal the new position that has come in times by, because that's just in minutes, times by the time, times by minute to make it as a clarion time, if you will. The end time wants to be the start time plus our position, length, sorry, which has been passed in. And of course that is in minutes, so we want to times that by. Okay. That will give us our new start time, end time, and possibly our schedule as well. Schedule wants to equal the param row. And then we're going to update the calendar with change event from group. Our group's all primed up, so we can just use that. We'll have to be stick type in this. Dot event ID. Do we not have the ID? Oh, that's no problem. Just use the block. There you go. So we populate the group from the calendar event ID, change its start time and end time, and possibly the schedule in case we moved it, and then we go and update the change. We update the calendar. Make that a bit smaller. 4 hours is a bit. Okay, so we've got that. So if I was to move Billy G there to 9, and there's our calendar updated. And because the calendar event has changed, that will trigger the call to the update record. So the record will actually go and change now as well. So now, if we go out and go back in, that should be at 9. And it is at 9. So that's basically, I will put a full working, much better fully working example of that together, and I'll ship it as an example app. So the next calendar update will actually come with a fully working example of this for you. But any questions on what we've done there? No? Okay, good. Okay, Roberto, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Fernando's back.
And Fernando's back. Okay, so now let's have a look at Fernando's. Well, Fernando, make sure he's
awake.
He's awake. Okay, that's good. What I'm going to do, not in this because this is the old example, going to bring down, just make sure that he's got these settings for the loading. So I'm just going to bring the new example back and just bring this into view for us. Won't be 1 second.
I haven't looked at his code at all. He just said that he used the example. I'm like, yeah, it just loops through the records and adds them to the control.
So we'll take a look. On the Pro.
Hola, hola.
Creo que es esa manita. Hola, Fernando.
Bueno, estoy listo.
He's ready.
Okay, so what we're going to quickly look at these settings. If you can do translation, that'd be much appreciated.
All right. Vamos a ver los settings como los tiene él, para que vayamos comparando también contra lo que tú tienes.
So I'll just take a simple one. So we've got a calendar. We've got some events. Could be TPS, MySQL, MS SQL. Doesn't really matter. It's just your data. We want to load quite efficiently. So I'm going to have the template do our loading for us.
You can do that now?
Yes, yeah.
It's been a long time since I worked with the calendar,
So yep. So we've got sources view/file.
You were always
Roberto,
for a long
yo
time.
estoy usando la versión 4.09, o sea, no llegué a la 13 porque no lo pude después compilar más. Entonces tenía una copia de seguridad anterior y estoy trabajando con la 4.09, que es la que me está funcionando. Por eso veo
4.09 because he had problems with the newer versions.
He's on 4.09.
4.09 because he had trouble with the newer versions. It wouldn't compile.
Right.
And I'm not sure what's going on. He probably has older template, or I don't know, code, maybe a different class name, or I don't know.
Okay.
That is screen.
Igual armé algo con la 4.13, un ejemplo, para poder ver cómo levantar los datos, porque me daba errores en la tabla. Cuando compilaba no me dejaba compilar, porque me buscaba campos en mi tabla que no tenía. Entonces, bueno, generé una nueva base de datos.
Pero es que tú le dijiste que utilizara tu propia carga o trataste de usar el template.
Yo en el 4.13 traté de usar el template.
Ah, ok. Sí.
Pero después del anterior usé mi propia carga, sí.
Lo tenías ya. He tried using 413, but it was looking for fields that he didn't have in his table. I guess he hasn't updated his table to what it was before, so there are probably some fields missing.
Well,
the order, I don't know.
You don't have to use all the fields. I mean, for this example, we are using the file view. We set the what table, which key, and so on, and then you do actually say what the fields are. But if you, let's say, in your table you don't have the all day, then just take it out.
Dice que si no tienes que usar todos los campos. Que si tú en tu tabla no tienes esa que dice all day o la de, pues nada más la quitas y no la utiliza. Y a lo mejor era eso, nada más había que borrársela.
Está bien, igual lo tengo funcional con los nuevos campos que agregó Andy. Y bueno, ahí sí tengo problema de carga de los eventos. En la versión anterior, que es la que estaba trabajando y es donde no puedo mover los eventos, que cuando lo quiero pasar de un día al otro, tarda muchísimo en seleccionarlo y querer moverlo. Que bueno, quizás resolviendo eso andaría.
Okay, he'd like to show it to you.
Okay, I don't know. So let's take a look. So I'll put it back to presenter.
Te voy a poner como presentador otra vez.
Ah, bueno. ¿Cuál es mi máquina ahora?
Todavía no. Ahora sí.
¿Me están viendo?
Sí.
Bueno, esto que se está viendo acá, hoy Andy me pidió que le mostrara la configuración del...
Oh, so he has... Entonces sí tienes la 413.
Sí, tengo instalada la 413, pero seleccionada acá.
So he does had an example of 413. Oh.
That's just a history.
Pero eso nada más es un historial, Fernando. Eso no hace nada, no seleccionas ninguna versión ahí.
Está bien, está bien.
Okay. Eso no seleccionas compatibilidad, nada con eso.
Bien. Ustedes dirán, ¿qué muestro acá?
Pues muestra tus problemas.
Bien.
413 then. I'm not sure if he thought if
yeah,
he clicked on the history as 4.09 if
it was no, I mean I've been asked that in the past though, but no.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm like that's just informational.
Okay.
Roberto,
so...
qué feo. No entiendo nada de lo que estás diciendo.
No te preocupes.
Nomás
nos reímos
voy explicando más o menos lo que voy haciendo acá.
Sí.
Bueno, acá yo selecciono la fecha con un rango, como habíamos hablado con vos, para la carga de eventos. En este caso, voy a hacerlo con eventos más viejos que tengo cargados y no tengo últimos, para que se carguen varios. Entonces voy a hacer del 01, por ejemplo, al 15. Perdón, acá. 01. Ahí le vamos a poner.
Pero le pusiste 11.
Sí, lo estamos trabajando del 1 del 11 al 15 del 12. Cargo todos esos eventos. Porque yo lo que hago acá es una consulta SQL, lo cargo a un in-memory. Y del in-memory leo y cargo los eventos.
Okay, so he loads them up into an in-memory table, and then from the in-memory he loads them and adds them to the calendar.
Okay. Now, one quick question there. Why does he load all of those if the user isn't is only looking at 5 days there? Why not just load the 5 days? It's not very efficient.
Estaríamos la fecha más o menos.
Sí, pero he's got a lot of stuff in there. Yeah. Él pregunta que por qué cargas todos ese mes y medio si nada más estás visualizando 5 días.
Está bien, es la manera que encontré de que puedan ir cargando eventos diarios y poder ver los que están hacia adelante y algunos hacia atrás, porque para atrás generalmente no van, sí hacia adelante, y en caso de necesitar ver eventos de años anteriores, como en el caso este, seleccionando los rangos de fecha se puede ver todo, ¿no es cierto?
Okay,
eso
so
lo que hace es
to-
limita la carga.
Yeah, he wants to be able to view stuff ahead and back.
Oh yes,
Also.
I get that. But if the user doesn't select that range, I don't see the point in loading them. I mean, to keep it as efficient as possible, I would only load either the selected range.
What happens
So,
if you move to the next week? You just reload it or what?
well, what happens? I'm just going to switch back to my screen just for an
Because
example.
right now he's got the black fields, right, on the selector.
Yeah.
And that shows them, and those are automatically added because he added them to the calendar.
Okay. So
if he did that, they wouldn't put black fields, would they?
No, but so you've got two date ranges, what the calendar passes back to you. You've got the active selected, so you can see 18 to the, you can just, Fernando, just 1 second. So we can see here, he's got highlighted the 2nd to the 6th. Okay, but you've also got another range. So he has got the range technically, 1st of November or the 28th of October, if you look at, to the 9th of, okay, take that, will be February. So he's got that range. So he could load that, but the calendar will tell him what the user's looking at. So he doesn't really need to prompt the user to start with and then load a load of information. He wants to just do the loading on demand. And the user is the one who's going to.
What if he clicks on the month?
Sorry?
Then it'll still grab the whole month. If he clicks on the month at the top, then it'll be empty, right? Unless he forces a full reload.
In which month?
Up at the top where it says day, week, month. If he clicks on the month, then it'll be half empty.
No, because it'll know that there's a new date range and it'll load at that point, but it'll only load. It's smart enough to know what the user's looking at, and it tells you. So the embed point data underscore load events actually receives the parameters of what you should be loading, and it's either.
I think he's not using that probably. He's probably just doing it at the start, where he has a loop where he's adding all the records. We have to see his code.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the loading code if we can.
Okay. ¿Podemos ir a tu código entonces de carga?
Bien. Yo tengo una rutina hecha acá, que es la que carga, lo que les contaba, entre fecha rango, con 2 consultas de SQL, que las uno y cargo el in-memory, ¿sí?
Yeah, so he has a couple routines there where he loads a table from SQL and then he adds them to an in-memory. And then from the in-memory, he adds the whole thing over whatever he did the filter with to the calendar.
Después, acá cargaría los eventos. En realidad, yo esto lo disparo desde aquí a rango con la consulta del rango.
¿Dónde está
Cargo
eso?
la cita. Esto está en el inicio, en el init.
Oh, he just adds it at the init. Ok, es que hay unos embeds de las clases que automáticamente detecta si está afuera de rango los datos o no fuera. Y yo creo que ahí es donde te hace faltar utilizar esos métodos para que sea más inteligente. Y si la gente mira otro pedazo de semana, por ejemplo, a la siguiente semana, va a ir y va a volver a cargar esos datos para que sea eficiente, en vez de que cargues todos de acuerdo al rango que tú iniciaste. Solamente cargar los que tengas previsualizados.
Entiendo que es lo que estaba tratando de lograr últimamente. Eso lo vi en la última versión, cambié el formato, por eso hice un ejemplo aparte, porque lo voy a trasladar al código a otro,
claro, vas a tener
software.
que programarlo distinto. Okay.
Pero que lo que quería resolver de si bien así está funcionando, cuando muevo el evento, que no lo terminé de mostrar acá, yo quisiera solucionar en esto, que no puedo mover el...
It says that the problem here, it loads, it's slow loading, but the problem is that when he moves the event, that it doesn't let him move the event. I was telling him that he needs to use the classes so that it's more intelligent and only loads up the whatever.
Smaller data.
Yeah.
I mean,
because obviously he's loading up the whole data. Actually, the range that he's using, which isn't too much, because it's only a month and a half data. Of course, he's got lots of data there, but sí, ¿qué quieres mover?
Robert, por ejemplo, yo quiero mover acá donde dice monje, ¿no es cierto? Lo pico. Me tarda una eternidad en seleccionarlo, ¿ves? ¿Ves lo que tarda? Ahora sí. Y después cuando quiero mover, mira, no me lo lleva en tiempo real. Fíjate lo que demora. Esto es lo que este es el problema que yo quiero resolver urgentemente. Este tipo de cosas, ¿eh?
It's really slow to move events from one place to the other. It takes a long time to just click on the event. And I'm not sure if because it's full of data or why that would happen. Puedes hacerle clic otra vez. He's going to click on an event again. So he clicks on it. He clicked on it now, and it just takes a long time for it to select it.
So let's. What code has he got in the event selected?
¿Tienes código en el que dice en el embed de event selected?
Me parece que no, ¿eh? A ver.
He thinks he doesn't have any code there.
En la save, no. No, acá no. En el evento del select, no.
Okay.
Do any of them seem familiar to you? That would slow it down?
No entiendo.
No, not particularly.
Me dice.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the calendar control itself. I think it's the calendar control itself. I still don't think I think he's loading much more data than is actually required, and he's not loading it. I'm just going to go to my screen. So if you can just let him know I'm going to go to my screen, and we'll try and cover some of the.
Utilizar usted va a cambiar de pantalla la suya para que veamos algunas cosas que vas a necesitar hacer para cambiar cómo funciona esto, porque piensa que estás leyendo muchos datos, que deberías minimizar la cantidad de datos que tienes en pantalla.
Okay, so
los que tienes previsualizados ahí.
Bien.
What I was going to mention here. Okay, so there's two date ranges. We are currently looking 18 to 22. Okay, or there is the overall range. Now, because he's got a lot of data, I would go with this range.
Hay un rango visible y hay un rango global. El rango global es lo que estás viendo ahí, que son 3 meses.
Bien.
Y hay un rango visible, son los 5 días que está mostrando ahí. Entonces, él piensa que lo que vas a tener que hacer es cargar datos solamente por el rango visible. Si le picas week, pues nada más van a ser esos 5 días. Si le picas month, pues van a ser 30 días.
Okay, so if we have a look on the date picker, you've got the load parameters. the currently selected dates or the visible range. That controls which dates are passed to the load. Okay. And
Esta parte controla qué es el rango de fechas que vas a utilizar, ya sea el global o lo visible.
these
Yo
dates.
creo que y ahí es donde vas a tener que cambiártelo a lo visible. Y esos son los parámetros que utiliza. Param start date y param end date.
So if I show here, message, load required for
Y entonces ahí cuando haces el add event, vas a tener que utilizar esas fechas que tienes de rango. Entonces vamos a mostrar aquí, por ejemplo, esas dos fechas de rango visible.
Okay, so what we're going to watch these dates. So when the calendar needs data, that embed point will be called.
Sí, cuando el calendario requiere de información adicional, ese embed va a ser cargado. O ese, not the embed, it's the class,
The
right?
method, yeah. So we've got 18.
Sí, eso lo vi en el último ejemplo de la versión 4.13,
Fijas, ahí está mirando
cómo
5 días.
seleccionar el rango.
Solamente esos 5 días.
Okay,
Sí,
so
y ahí es donde tienes que agarrar ese rango y filtrarlo para cuando mandes los datos al calendario. So, does it delete everything again once you go to the next week?
yeah. So if I was to go to the 26th, now it knows it wants the 25th to the 29th because I'm in week mode.
But you see that they're still black at the top? Will they get rid of it?
Yeah, would have thought it would have updated there.
See, they're still black on the top, so that means they're still loaded in the calendar.
No, they're not. They would be removed. But why it hasn't, from maybe a repaint, I don't know. But that they are removed because in that embed it deletes. So if I just show you.
Lo que hace ese embed entonces es que borra todos los datos que tienes en el calendario y te vuelve a filtrar y cargar los eventos de las fechas de lo visible que tienes de esa semana.
Delete.
No borra los demás. Si te fijas, ahí está el método para borrar todos.
So then, yeah. So it's efficient. So we're going okay. If we wish to change our view, so we go to day, it doesn't need to reload because it already had the 25th in memory. Now it would need to reload because it's removed the rest of the week. And it
Sí,
just
ahí
reloads.
picamos
Bien.
en la semana.
Eso más o menos lo estuve trabajando y lo pude resolver, que es lo que estaba tratando de hacer últimamente. Ahora me enredé un poco porque en la misma base de datos tengo diferentes agendas. No sé si vieron que tengo una agenda de kinesiología, otra de gimnasio, otra natación. Entonces, cada campo del subset o del schedule ID que tienen en la base está identificado. Entonces, cuando yo abro una agenda, esa agenda va a abrir con ese subset, ¿no es cierto? O sea, con ese schedule ID. De esa manera yo levanto los datos nada más que de esa agenda.
Claro, bueno, ahí estás filtrando nada más.
Claro.
O sea, en cuestión de filtrar, pues tú te encargas del filtrado.
Perfecto. Eso de seleccionar entre rangos, o sea, cuando yo lo hice, lo estaba haciendo con unas variables que salían también del new date. Creo que a lo mejor me estaba equivocando ahí, que si bien me seleccionaba el rango, estaba con dificultades para poder cargar al template, ¿no es cierto?, a los X ahí. Pero lograba filtrar, que hice un ejemplo de eso, pero no lo pude cargar, no, me frenó ahí.
Bueno, es que no estabas en el embed correcto, ¿cierto?
Posible.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So
sí, voy a tener que lograr eso.
We load
So
smaller.
click month, then it'll load up the whole month.
Yeah. So that's a good example. So that will load, and I didn't even I didn't take
But
it.
it'll actually load like part of last month and so
Well,
on.
it will load whatever is highlighted on this. So a good example here, if I go to day, it doesn't reload because it already had the 18th.
Si él se va día, no carga nada porque ya tiene eso puesto.
Now, if I go to week, it's going to load the full week, 18 to 24. If I switch that, so it's got 18 to 24 loaded in memory. If I go to working week, it won't reload because it's already got 18 to 22. It's got 18 to 24, so it doesn't reload because so I can switch between these two without reloading. So it's much smaller and it's instant. If I go to month, then I will load 27 through to 31.
Right.
But I'm only loading 1 month. That with the quantity of data he's got, I would go down that route.
Uh-huh. Sí, vas a tener que cambiar tu forma de hacerlo. O sea, si la gente anda brincando entre mes y mes y mes, pues sí se va a tardar porque andas cargando muchos datos, ¿no?
Así es.
Pero si nada más está mirando esta semana o la semana que entra, pues nada más tendrías que cargar nada más lo de esa semana para limitarlo.
Sí, no le veo problemas ahí para limitarlo. Sí, por ahí me había complicado con la carga. Pero bueno, yo podría después esto queda guardado como los webinarios que hacen
Claro, todo
con Ale.
Sí, todo esto está guardado.
Se puede
Ahora,
ver después.
Ale says that he has an example of how he uses this exactly. Can you turn his microphone on?
Yeah. It's open. Alejandro?
Hello, Andy. How are you?
Hi. Yes, good. Yourself?
Very well, very well. Thanks, God. Listen, I have to show you the calendar fix, and if you want, we can show how to load the events to show to Fernando, if you want, in my screen.
Okay. Yeah. But we'll go across. Roberto, did Fernando understand what we've just said about the efficient loading?
Yes, you need to limit that. Obviously, he wasn't loading it that way. He had tried, but I think he was using the wrong embed.
Okay. So the data.
He sees the correct embed now.
So that's the best embed is the
Fernando,
data.
el mejor lugar para el embed es ese que dice load events, porque ahí se da cuenta que cambió. Si no, no cambia. Por ejemplo, si te cambias de semana a día, no va a cargar nada. Pero si te cambias de esa semana a otra semana, se carga todo la nueva semana, pero aplicándole esos parámetros que le está enviando de lo que está visible. Entonces, embed que vas a tener que utilizar.
Creo que ahí fue el problema que tuve, que no lograba poder decirle ahí en el load qué es lo que quería filtrar, y lo traía de afuera y siempre me traía cualquier cosa.
¿Recuerdas que había uno ahí donde seleccionabas por lo visible a comparación de lo cargado? Can you show us where that part was, where you selected visible against what is loading?
Oh, yes.
The date picker?
That's it. The option is on the date picker, and you have.
Mira, y tienes que decirle eso. Currently selected dates nada más. En vez de visible date, y lo cambias a visible date range. So you need to change it to visible date range, right?
No, I would go with currently selected, because visible date range will load all 3 months. It will load a lot of data, which is what it's doing now.
Si le dejas visible date range, te carga todo lo que está visible.
That's going to load. Oh, sorry, it'll switch the view. Then it's going to load all the way up to August.
Lo que tengas visible te carga. Te los manda como parámetros.
Yeah, so you want the visible date range.
Entonces quieres el que dice visible date range para que nada más el load event utilice eso, te mande pues ese rango de fechas.
Okay. The other, which might, this is a nicety, a nice, if you have the calendar,
Tiene otro tip.
To file and view, and you can specify your table. You do have to specify certain fields, and on top of that, then no, that's that. No, wasn't that I was thinking of. You've got that, but you also have. Can't find it. No, but if you've got that, the file view, then all the code which you used to place in there, which is like event moved, event update record, the sync, all that code's redundant. It gets rid of all of it because the template will write all the code for you.
Right. Yeah.
So, for example,
el template, que ya todo el código que tienes en event moved, event insert, todas esas cosas, ya se vuelve ya no usable. El template se va a encargar de hacer todo eso.
Ajá.
Puedes borrar todos esos códigos si es que metiste código en esos invents.
Está bien, está bien. Voy a tener que revisar todo entonces con esta nueva opción de carga desde ahí del load.
Sí. Obviamente puedes agarrar tu in-memory driver. He can just grab the in-memory table there too.
O sea que el problema de mover los eventos es porque hay demasiada carga de registro.
Él piensa que sí.
Perfecto.
Entonces limitas el tamaño de campos, la cantidad de campos o de eventos que tienes ahí y va a estar mucho más rápido.
Bueno, entonces la secuencia sería trabajar directamente desde el load y usando esos parámetros usar el parámetro start date y el parámetro end dates.
Sí, exacto. Y usarlos, porque todo ya está automatizado. No tienes que hacer nada, o sea, automáticamente ya te les agarra.
I think we've got a problem here. My cordless headphones.
Y eso lo defino en el template.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry. And my long cable is at home, so I'm gonna struggle. We're gonna have to end shortly, only because of the headphones. Just 1 second.
Okay. Ale tiene un ejemplo también de cómo ya creó todo esto.
Ah, bueno.
Entonces quería mostrarte cómo lo manejó él.
Fantástico. Fantástico, sí, cómo no.
I've got them plugged in, but a very short cable, so I'm sat like with my head crooked near the socket. Sorry about this.
10 meters away from the screen, right?
Yeah. Alejandro, I'll quickly make you presenter, but then we'll start wrapping it up. So coming to you, if you want to demonstrate on yours.
Okay. Let me know when you see my screen, please.
Can you? Yeah. Priority 1000. Yeah.
Okay. So I load, of course, here in load events, and I created a procedure to load the events. ¿Estás viendo, Farah?
Sí, estoy viendo, Ale, gracias.
So, and I send the parameter. Okay, and I get from the table using prop SQL, etc. So this is I think the best way to load the record if you have multiple input, if you have many tables.
Yes.
So I think this is the best way. And this worked very good. I have a table with more than 10,000 events, works quickly, works fine.
Cool, nice. Yep, that is good. And the using the event group, which is the best and the fastest way to get the data into the calendar as well.
Yes. So I will show you if we finish with Fernando.
Is Fernando okay, Roberto?
¿Sí checaste cómo lo hizo Fernando? De todos modos, esto va a estar grabado, ¿eh?
Sí, de todas formas lo podemos ver el sábado también. No hay problema.
Ah, genial. Me parece bárbaro, Ale.
Yes. To Fernando, we can see it in Saturday, in our webinar, if he have any other question. You seem okay. Okay, can you see, Andy, my screen?
Yes, yep.
Okay, if I make click, okay, wait, I have to recompile. I added the calendar fix.
Fix, yep.
Second. Okay, so if I make click, it disappears. Okay, so I put here, let me show you. Yeah, I put the who procedure because I want to know moment it executes. Who. And I found I don't know, maybe a solution, but I don't know if is it okay for all the solution.
Ugly.
Can you see? Before to open the calendar, it executes the no event selected. Okay. After that, when we select here.
Okay, so the calendar fix, show me the fix code.
Yes, sure.
Oh,
So,
I've got the init complete on there.
Sorry?
I just saw the init complete. I was making sure you had the init complete.
Yes. Let me show you my solution, and you let me know if is it okay, please.
Okay.
So, I could check that the no event selected is entering twice before to the first click. So if you see there is the message, okay, but if I make click, now it works fine, okay, but this event disappear, okay, it's like clear again. So if I select the new date, now it's working fine. Okay. You see the behavior?
Yeah. Why did you lose the event?
Sorry?
Just run that again for me, please.
Delete events automatically?
No, only in the data load. In the data underscore load events. That deletes.
You want to see the load events method?
No. If you can just run that again for me, please.
Se lo corras de nuevo.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so that's on the 18. Okay, yeah. Then try click.
Okay.
And it does like a selecting?
But now you're not looking at the 18, now you're looking at 19. You've just changed the dates.
Yes.
Estás el 19 y el 20.
Yes, that's true. Let me open again. Maybe.
Si agarras uno de la misma semana que estás mirando.
So it's 18 to 24. You click, it goes 19 to 25.
Yes, when I made click, it's changed the select area.
Okay, show me the fix code again. Let me take a quick look.
Yes.
please?
Yes.
Okay. So I better angle it. Okay, where we've got the PCV view, let's have PCV start. PCV start type date.
PCV.
Where you declare the variable, let's declare another one.
Yes.
Yeah, call it PCV start date. Type date. Or long, that's good. No, that's okay. We don't need end.
Okay.
No, we don't need that. So, after the PCV view, let's do PCV start date equals
Yes.
calendar pro 6 dot get selected start date. It's calendar pro 6 you've got. Yeah.
Select.
Get selected start date.
Okay. Do you want a message?
No, that's okay. And then in that if, instead of it being a then, get rid of the then. Yep. Okay. Yep. We want that, and we want calendar pro 6 dot select select date.
Es que 6,
Yes. Calendar Pro 6. Dot.
Select date. Select date time. Yeah, that's.
Okay.
What's the
Yes.
parameters on that? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
PCV.
Start date.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, something like that. Let's just try that.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay. I have a schedule ID here. Okay.
No, it's okay. You don't need. Yeah, it should be. Let's just try that one.
Really, I don't realize that change the date. I just seen now. 4 eyes is better than 2. Now it's select like a day view. Sorry. Wait a second. We need to. Sorry. Okay, but now it select only one date. Maybe can we put a range of dates?
Well, no, not with that. The calendar, because you're only selecting.
Yes, but when I selected, it's changed again to the 19.
Okay, I've got an idea, but I was just wondering. Let me check something here. I do need to wrap it up in a second, though. We have to finish for today. But what I was wondering is on the calendar pro, 1 second, maybe the date picker. We could select the dates on the date picker. Just 1 second.
We can call the method, or no? No.
On the date picker, we could do set set date range. Oh no, I don't know if that's going to do it for us. Yes, okay, select range. So instead of the calendar, select date, do date picker.
Yes, let me find this. Date picker 7. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, select
Dot select
range.
Range, yeah. And we do need the start date and end date, so we will need an end date now. Oh, just 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that, and then do the start and the end. And you want to get rid of the calendar select date time. In fact, that select range wants to. Yeah, that select range wants to be after the recalc layout.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, try that.
Time to run. Okay. No. No.
Okay, I will. I'll try it here on mine. So you're in week view. I'll just try here.
Okay.
Yeah, go from there. I'm gonna have to wrap it up now, guys. It's been a marathon one though. I think we've covered a lot today.
Good webinar.
Yes, yeah, yeah, very good actually. Enjoyed it. Now there is no webinar next week because it's a public holiday here in the UK. It's the last one until August. So we have all ours really on in April and May. We have loads of public holidays. So it's the last one. So that's good news. So there's no webinar next week, and then we will be back to normal the week after. The video of this will be posted in the morning. I'll leave it converting as I leave the office now. I'll leave it converting and it will be available in the morning with the notes of what we've covered. So thank you everybody. Frank.
Thank you to you, Andy.
No problem. Frank has sent a message. If you want to send me a message on Skype, just to make sure I have got a Frank on Skype, but it says a year since we've spoken. I'm not sure it's you. So Frank, if you want to send me a quick Skype message, username is Noyantis. And it was just really to do with the OCXs. We want about which version and so on and so forth. So we can cover that. Okay. Until the next webinar. Thank you, everybody. See you then. Bye.